Hello, I'm Dr. Lewis Hassel, and I'm pleased to present to you today on the topic of how we've developed a virtual online pathology curriculum training for residency candidates in pathology, which of course has many other uses as well. First off, I think this ought to be a hot topic, but I really do have nothing to disclose. Although I think these institutional interests, while not financially valuable, are pertinent. I am the president of the Board of Trustees for Open Pathology Education Network. Also serve as a committee chair for Digital Pathology Association and on the CAP Foundation Global Pathology Committee. So what is Open? Well, Open is an educational network. It's intended to be an alliance, a consortium of, if you will, of individuals and institutions who all believe that we need to help to improve human health by means of making pathology services more accessible, lowering the barriers to quality training, which in so many areas is just a huge problem, and generally enriching the educational resources for other members of the pathology community, those in practice and desiring to enter practice. And this is the problem really we're looking at. It's a global problem of maldistribution. This is certainly not a new problem and certainly not something that is isolated to pathology, but the lack of pathologists in these locations, which are yellow, orange, red, is undoubtedly a contributor to poor outcomes when it comes to specific diseases like cancer and so forth. Now, this is not to say that the ratios in the green countries are optimal, but they're certainly much better and allow for better care. So what does this look like going forward? Well, there is a significant bolus of new cancer cases coming our direction, estimated to be a 76% increase in global cases worldwide by 2050 in the next 25 years. Now, that is on top of only a population increase of 21%. So, in other words, a disproportionate increase. And as you might guess, this is going to fall very heavily on those areas which have the least resources to manage these, where population growth is still high. And if we look at the current workload or current staffing abilities of pathologists globally, there may be 100,000 of us. I think that may be even a little generous, but that's clearly inadequate to handle even our current needs, let alone this projected increase of 75% or more. To compound problems even further, our conventional training model of localized centers, one-on-ones, small group sessions, and so forth, using the materials du jour and so forth, these are very difficult to scale and especially impossible, especially hard or nearly impossible in areas with few resources. So we have a problem. It is a very big problem coming down the road. So our contention is that digital pathology is part of the solution here. And our learning model has been to combine curated online curriculum of open source materials, largely based on digital content, coupled with live intermittent mentoring sessions with experienced mentors, so forth, based on the ECHO model developed at the University of New Mexico, and then combine that with case-based objective assessments, along with the subjective assessments that may occur in these live sessions and other environments. So that's the learning model. And what other things is Open doing to lower the barrier? Well, we're offering this at no cost. So there's no net outflow of a trainee's income to be able to access this material. We're offering it virtually. They don't have to travel to a foreign country, come to Europe, go to the United States or whatever to get trained. They can do it where they are and where they're located. The materials, they're high quality. These are curated, excellent digital slide examples, oftentimes better than what any individual institution might have in their own libraries. And we do this in chunks, sort of on demand, so that people can taper their learning pace and style to the schedule that they have with other demands like work and so forth. Now, oftentimes digital learners lose interest. Their commitment tapers off. Well, one of the ways to change that is to couple that learning with live interactive sessions so that they have the opportunity to interact with real people, have some degree of accountability to progress and make progress. And then uncertain outcomes. Well, Open is committed to helping to plow through some of the barriers organizationally so that these people can be trained and useful. Now, one of the side benefits, I believe, of using digital materials is that actually competency can be accelerated using well-organized and curated digital materials. I have some data on that using some of these materials that we've developed at the University of Oklahoma and using Path Presenter. Particularly in GI polyps, I see residents who are fully competent to sign out GI polyps within less than a month, whereas previously a conventional training model, they were taking years essentially to get to the point where they were satisfied. So what has Open done in terms of curriculum development so far? Well, these are the areas where we have completed and live active teaching modules. As you can see, it's primarily been in GYN pathology, but we've now begun to add breast pathology and recently derm path. We'll soon add to this GYN cytology and also some opportunities in pediatric pathology. We have several other modules in process: head and neck, lung, PediPath, neuroendocrine, GU, GI, histology, and lab management, and some that are planned for the future or are forming include these that I've listed down here. So we intend to have a complete comprehensive curriculum both for laboratory management as well as for clinical pathology as well as anatomic pathology. So how does this process work? And this is really the subject of the matter. Well, we begin with subject matter experts. We define the scope of what they're going to do, generating an appropriate outline that they can work from. And then we begin to look at what's already available, what's been done, what's out there on the web, what resources can we find on digital slide libraries and so forth. And this really grew out of the Digital Pathology Association's DAPA, Digital Anatomic Pathology Academy resource, which is a very nice resource of curated digital slides on a whole host of topics. When the teams discover gaps or otherwise, they may have to develop some of their own resources to fill those gaps. This has been perhaps evident in some of the grossing areas and so forth. And then finally, they add the knowledge checks and assessments that it can be useful to help people determine whether or not they're doing and progressing at an appropriate pace. Then that's translated onto our learning platform, which is the OpenEDX platform developed at Harvard and MIT. And then as it's proofread and so forth, it's released for enrollment. And we schedule then mentoring sessions to go along with those as needed. So what do people feel about? What do they think of this process? Well, we surveyed some of the people who've worked on some of the early modules, which included a number of trainees who were contributing, several junior faculty, and several senior faculty. And most of them said that really the mission that Open has developed resonated with their own personal values, and that was the driving factor. They also, however, found that their relationships with others on the team were also an important or even the most important factor for many. Other things that people cited as reasons that they wanted to get involved were to help residents in their home country or their birth country to have the opportunities that an individual had, or just because of, and I really love this last one, a passion for making learning a joyful experience for the learners. So it should be joyful, and that just touched me when I saw that. So how have we done so far? Well, in 2025, we've given out 86 course completion certificates from a very broad range of countries, as you can see here. And this is essentially with no marketing. We have really not done a whole lot to drive enrollment because we don't have a full curriculum available yet. We didn't want to get ahead of ourselves there and have people hanging in the lurch. But word of mouth and other news has spread the word out there. And this is the number who've completed. Now, there's a far greater number who've been on the process as well. April of this year, we began what we call the new pathology education paradigm trial, and we've enrolled 50 some odd enrollees in that program, which are all new learners in pathology. And out of these, so far, now 4 months into the process, 23 certificates have been issued of completion, and people have responded with comments such as you see here, wanting to join the course because they're new, because they need help, and struggling with learning to step into this. Here's kind of the usage statistics for the month of July on our site. As you can see, we have a number of active attendants ranging in the 60s, course enrollments 60 or 70 averaging, and similar smaller numbers of other activities as well. If you'd like to sort of try out one of these courses yourself, you can just scan this QR code and enroll in one of the courses and see what it looks like to you. Who's behind this process, I think, is always an important question. Well, this is our board of trustees. You see the pictures here, a number of very well-known individuals, leaders in the field of pathology, pathology education, very broad diversity of backgrounds and experiences, which has been very helpful in getting this going. Our volunteers also run that full spectrum of capable and dedicated people who want to make pathology available to people who currently or otherwise would not have that opportunity. And the names in bold are those who assisted me in the preparation of this presentation today. We also have a number of organizational partners, which I'll put up here, including the International Gynecologic Cancer Society, Health Volunteers Overseas, some university support, and of course the Digital Pathology Association and National Society of Histotechnology, who've expressed strong support for what we're doing. So to summarize, then, open, we believe, is an effective way in helping pathologists to enhance their competency. We've demonstrated that in GYN pathology quite soundly. The new PEP trial is going to show that the same is going to be true for new trainees as well. We believe this is a benefit to many, many stakeholders, not just the health organizations, but to many of the commercial entities, industrial and pathology organizations as well. So I think you, as well as the institutions and organizations that you represent, have a stake in what we're trying to do. We're moving forward, and we'd love for you to be involved. Where do we need your help? Well, we need still more course content curators and developers. We need people who are willing to take these materials and apply them in various settings and combinations in existing residency programs or other settings to see what the effectiveness and optimal use of these materials is. And then, of course, we need allies and supporters, financial support and sustaining, so that we can make this a sustainable process that will indeed change the paradigm for pathology training and thus the access to pathology services globally. Well, thank you so much for listening. These are some of the resources cited. Very small print, of course, but you can come back to my presentation and look at it on your own time. So thanks very much, and I'll entertain questions at this point.